All right, y'all. Vin
We're
here.
back. Sorry.
We're back. So we've done 2 Slipknot reviews, and now we're switching bands. We're going to Avenged Sevenfold, and this is going to be cool because I've never heard the song before.
Have I heard any of their stuff?
You've never heard any of that stuff.
Okay, I was going to say it doesn't sound familiar.
Not for me anyway. But I've heard a few songs from Avenged Sevenfold, but I've never heard this particular song. So I'm very, very interested in it. The name of the song is "This Means War," which I love that title. That can go a million places, right. So I wonder where these guys are going to go. Quick thing about the term Avenged Sevenfold. So Cain kills his brother. God shows up to him and says, "What have you done?" And then Cain has that famous line, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And then God says, "You killed your brother. What are you doing?" And so God says, "I'm going to banish you." And Cain says, "No, because if you banish me, whoever finds me is going to kill me."
Right.
And then God says, "No, I'm going to put a mark on you so that anybody who kills Cain, God will take vengeance sevenfold." So I don't know if that's where the term Avenged Sevenfold came from, but that's a pretty interesting title.
Yeah.
You know, like God. And that's an interesting story in the Bible anyway. Like, this dude kills his brother, and then God says, "I'm going to protect you, and anybody who messes with you, I'm going to avenge him sevenfold."
Yeah, the way that God talks to him is crazy.
Yeah, and the
you
guy
expect God to be like angry and go after him, but the way he talks to him is very interesting.
That's the Old Testament God too. He was like really, really like protecting him like crazy. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I don't know if they came up with somebody comment in the title. Down below, if you know why they named the band Avenged Sevenfold. Anyway, we're talking too much. Let's go. This means war. 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 This means war. Avenged Sevenfold. Let's do it. Rock and roll. I'm liking it. What do you think so far?
Oh, I like it.
Do you feel like hurting somebody?
No.
No?
Getting motivated to go do something, just not sure what yet. Assuming it's war.
Why would you assume it's war?
The name of the song kind of tips me off, but
it's like Metallica.
Yep.
Like Harvester of Sorrow. All right. Face again, in the shadow. Sounds so much like Metallica. Feel this weight of sin. With the guilt of 1,000 eagle soldiers, what's the sight? Usher me astray. I can't go on this way, not as I am today. The other side of me is strong. Take aim and loaded gun. Pull back on all who run. A coward's truth inside the wrong. This means war. This means war. This means war. That's a smooth transition, man. That is a smooth transition. Such a sounds a lot like Black Album Metallica, though.
it's motivating, though, I think.
You motivated to do what?
Still running. Whoa!
Battle.
That's the pain of a child just forsaken. Lie to myself, praise the new rain. I left me long ago. Reasons you'll never know. No one to miss me when I'm gone. With no more words to say, no argument to stay. Another post I don't belong. This means war. This means war. This means war. This means war. This means war.
I gotta rewind that.
No more words to say. Ain't no child.
That second verse is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
What stuck out to you in that second verse so far?
Well, I told you, if you don't have the lyrics right up, then I forget what the words just said.
When he
talks about the abandonment, and then when he basically says that stuff's happened to him that nobody knows. I can't remember how it was worded.
Yeah, he was talking about the mental holocaust. He
Yeah,
used
the mental holocaust,
He used like a line about the mental holocaust, and I thought that was just a pretty crazy, gutsy line. I left me long ago, reasons you'll never know. Like, that's a crazy line. I left me long ago. I left myself long ago.
Yeah.
No one to miss me when I'm gone, with no more words to say, no argument to stay, another post I don't belong. Woo.
Another post I don't belong.
Woo. Isolation.
Mm-hmm.
So this means war is interesting. So, like, who's the war against? Because
Right.
he's talking about, like, leaving, no argument to stay, lash your tongue of pain, carry me to nowhere, mental holocaust, battle never ends, lie, mask the pain of a child who's forsaken. Ooh, man, those are deep lyrics. So it's almost like, you know, it looks like he's about to do something to himself, right? Like, no more words to say, no more argument to stay, no one to miss me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
So does it look like he's about to do something to himself?
I guess, and you know when he says, hold on, don't scroll anymore, praise the new regime, and then I don't know, to me it almost sounds like it's the leaving of like one season of your life and then moving into another one, and it's a totally different one, like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a mental holocaust.
Battle never ends.
Mm-hmm.
So what does praise the new regime mean to you then?
Well, when he says mental holocaust, I think of, like, in your mind, when you think of the Holocaust, they were turning against their own people. Like, the Jews were there all along, and then they started turning on their neighbors.
They were their own countrymen, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's almost like this turning on your own self inside of his mind, like this is going on, and the battle never ends. If you're fighting with yourself inside your head, and you're destroying yourself, then the battle, it doesn't end, because it's always in yourself. It never is silenced. It's not like it's coming from other people. I'm sure that it started there, but when it's something that's within yourself, there's no silence from your own mind. And then, but then he says, lie, mask the pain of a child who's forsaken, lie to myself, praise the new regime. I don't know. I just think that he's coming to a place where now he's lying to himself, because at first he was saying the battle never ends, and now he's saying lying to myself, praise the new regime. Maybe it's just like this, I don't know, this way of like disassociating from stuff, and like there's a new thing coming in.
Yeah,
I left me long ago, it says. I don't know.
It's crazy to me how the stuff you go through as a kid
has such an effect on your adult life.
Such an effect on you, and you can be like a trillionaire rock star. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still wreck you. And then, you know, when you start having kids of your own, you're looking at this baby like I'm gonna screw this up, and my son's gonna make a rock song of me. Like, oh my goodness.
I know. I always think, is there gonna be counseling sessions that my kids are gonna go to when they grow up?
Guaranteed.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. Like, to me, it seems like he's gonna do something to himself, like leaving, whether it's like leaving or like suicidal leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and that in itself is kind of like a final act of war.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because like it's like the ultimate get back. Like, I'm gonna go and do this, and there's nothing you can say after that, because I did the final act of violence and war against myself and against you. I don't know. Let's finish the song. Maybe we'll find something else.
Holocaust. never know. No one to miss me when I'm gone. With no more words to say, no one you meant to stay. Another phone stop, don't be alone. This means war.
Drum is crazy.
This means war. This means war. This means war. This means war.
Someone's legit.
I'd like to see us doing this part.
Yeah, when bands like Korn and Slipknot came out, like, people kind of moved away from the solo. But,
Really, why?
well, because they just came with a different style, so everyone's like, oh, let's copy that. These guys are like more classical. If you listen to Metallica's Sad But True, this sounds very similar.
Oh, really?
Become my own. No finding someone new. No one to break the ball.
Yikes.
No one to see me drown. No name to carry on. No promise for today. No one to hear the call. No tattered flag to raise.
No
Okay,
tattered flag to raise.
then we gotta talk about that. No home to call my own, which is pretty open and shut. No finding someone new. That's a crazy line.
What do you, well, I just get from that, you know how people always think, oh, like if I, you know, when you always think that that's going to fix you. Like girls always think that some guy's going to fix them. And
Right.
if I just find somebody that's going to love me or some guy, he's going to fix all my problems.
Yeah,
That's
dudes-
not the answer.
Well, yeah, I think this is a moment when he realizes that finding someone new
It's
isn't
not
going
gonna
to
fix
do it.
it.
You know,
Mhm.
once you've gone through your ninth cycle of whatever,
Right.
once you've fallen in love or found the one for the ninth time. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
no finding someone new. Like, it's over. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. Either, like, he's out of it, he quit because he's seeing that it's completely futile, or he just doesn't think, he thinks he's damaged goods, nobody's going to want to be with him anyway. No one to break the fall. That's a crazy line. You know, when you have someone, you've got that person in your life that's kind of like, you know, that's a crazy picture, right? Because it's like he's looking at life like he's on a tightrope, and that's how he's looking at that relationship, somebody
Yeah.
who could break the fall for you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. It could be a dad, it could be an uncle, it could be a grandparent. It could just be someone who, you know, is there for you and will break the fall of life. And it's interesting because it's basically, look, that's how life is, right? Like, it's inevitable. You're going to fall into something. And, you know, having that relationship with a person who can break the fall is actually really, really important.
It's interesting when you think about it too, like, I'm not sure that that's what he meant by it, but when I heard it, I thought of, you know, in the Christian worldview, there's this time where, when humans kind of sin for the first time, that it's called like the fall of mankind. And so there's no one to break the fall because it happened, and it happened to all of us. All of us get our hands dirty. We've all done dirty stuff, and we've all had dirt done to us. And there's nobody to break that. It's just a perpetual curse basically on mankind.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like, yeah, because Adam and Eve, when they sinned, it's called the fall.
Right.
But, like, everybody experiences their own personal fall. Which,
Right.
You know, of course, you know, as a Christian, it's like, okay, you know, Jesus kind of breaks the fall for us. But, like, he's looking at life and he's saying nobody to break the fall. That's such a crazy line.
Right.
No one to see me through. That's crazy. You know, you got somebody that, like, is going to, like, stick with you and be with you, you know, like, you're getting all emotional. Getting all emotional. Yeah, so, like, nobody to see me through like that, you know. You hear songs like this, and the one hand, like, you relate to them, and then the other hand, like, if you do have somebody in your life that is there for you like that, it makes you appreciate them more, you know.
Right.
It makes you, hug that person or hit him in the head or whatever on a video. Thousands of people watching them. No name to carry on. That's crazy. What do you think about that one? What do you think he's saying there?
No name to carry on. Well, I guess there's only two ways that I can think of that you can. If you carry on the name of your father, well, if you're going with the thought of suicide, then you're not carrying on the name, and you're not,
Right, he didn't have a kid.
He's not going to have any kids.
Not going to have any kids, like he's done.
The name of it. That's crazy. Yeah, that's sad.
No one to hear the call. Whew. Man, this guy's going in. No one to hear the call. What's that mean? He's praying, nobody's listening to him? Or he's literally calling, nobody's there to pick up the phone? No tattered flag to raise. That's a crazy line because everything else seems so personal.
Yep.
But then, like, raising the flag after a war, it's like, that's what you do after you've fought some terrible battle and then you
survived.
And then you won, that you had the victory. Mm-hmm. And the flag is tattered because it's gone through all this war, but it got raised because you were victorious and, like, you lost. Like, it's over. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because the song is this means war, but here he's saying no tattered flag to raise, meaning you lost the war.
Right.
Like you lost. Woo.
On the one, no one to hear the call?
Yeah.
Well, isn't there like a call to war or something like
that?
Call
to arms.
Call to arms?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that angle. And then the other random one that came to mind is, you remember that story that you said, like, there was this person and they were suicidal and they like walked to the bridge and they basically said, if somebody on the way there like says a kind word, hi, or smiles at me or something like that, then I'm not going to do it. And they left the letter. Yeah. And they jumped. So there wasn't one kind person on the way.
One person.
So no one to hear the call, whether it's a silent call or one vocally spoken like that.
Yeah, everybody has these like cries for help that get missed all the time. Mm-hmm. And then like if you've lost somebody to suicide, which I have, I've lost multiple family members to suicide. You're always wondering, which call did you miss? How did you miss it? And then you look back and you go through emails and you're like, oh,
the last conversation.
That's what she meant. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's a tough line, man. Whew. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Razor's edge, cut into the madness. Question all you trust, buy into the madness. I see the man ripping at my soul now. I know the man. I know him all too well. There's nothing here for free. Lost who I wanna be. My serpent blood can't strike so cold. On any given day, I'll take it all away. Another thought I can't control. This means war. This means war. This means war. This means war. This means war.
That was a surprising ending. I didn't actually expect it to end like that.
That's deep. Okay. Yeah. Whoo! What was the line there that got you?
Well, I thought
on any given day I'll take it all away.
Yeah. Then I was like, you must be right. I thought it was interesting when it says, I see the man ripping at my soul now. I know the man. He keeps saying I like it's himself again.
Yeah, he
like
says, I know the man. I know the man well. He's talking about himself.
I know the man.
He is the man. he's the man who's ripping himself apart type of thing.
So the other thought was like, my serpent blood can strike so cold on any given day. I'll take it all away. Another thought I can't control. And, you know, if you've ever had suicidal thoughts or you've ever had to deal with that, like that's kind of how it feels. Like the thoughts come into your mind and then it seems almost like it's another one that you can't control. Like you play out to the end of it. And if you don't have something to kind of pull you out of that, it is a thought that you can't control. If the only one in control, just you're only like locked inside yourself. So.
Yeah, walk the razor's edge, cut into the madness. It's like a kind of like a double entendre for like self-harm, right? Like,
oh, right.
cut
I didn't
into
even
the
pick
madness.
up on that. Yeah. Razor's edge, cut. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, question all you trust, buy into the fear.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, like if you've been betrayed or backstabbed a few times, then you start questioning everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're that, so here's a crazy thing, like. If you've been betrayed or backstabbed, or you get to that point where you start questioning everything, you do that to protect yourself from it ever happening again.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it turns you into an extremely fearful person.
Yeah,
and you can't relate to anyone, and then you become very, very isolated, which is really interesting because the next thing he says is, "I see the man ripping at my soul now. I know the man. I know him all too well." So now he's just ripping himself apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like ultimately the guy's at war with himself. He's at war with the demons that happens to all of us. And, you know, there you go.
What do you think? War. There's nothing here for free.
Lost who I want to be.
Yeah.
I think when you're talking about like selling your soul.
Yep.
You know, he lost who he wanted to be. So I think when he says he's nothing here for free, everything that he got came at the cost of his soul. That's why he lost who he wants to be.
Oh,
you know, so it's a pretty poetic way of saying that you sold your soul. Like when you compromise who you are at the core of your being to get all this other stuff, the minute you get it, you've lost yourself.
Right.
So like that's the exchange when you sell your soul. You get this thing and then you completely lose yourself.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Which a lot of people grow up feeling like, oh, I wish I could be a rock star. Or, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. I wish I was in this relationship. I wish I was da-da-da-da. And then they do everything they can. They compromise everything who they are as a person to get it. And then once they get it, they're like, oh, this sucks. This is not what I thought. And nothing is for free. And my serpent blood can strike so cold. Phew. It's a crazy line. So thank you for suggesting this song.
Yeah.
Which is extremely depressing. Gosh.
But real. It was legit. Like,
that's the thing about metal music. It's extremely real. I gotta deduct some points though for the Metallica thievery.
Yeah.
This is like a sad but true. There's a song from Metallica called "Sad but True."
Mm-hmm.
That this is like a 74% sad but true remix. Like even the way he did the vocals for a lot of it was
really.
Oh yeah.
No, you can't do that.
So I'm gonna have to deduct some points.
Yeah.
for stealing "Sad but True," lyrically and musically, which Avenged Sevenfold. I heard does that a couple times. No, it's a different band. But this particular song sounds a lot like "Sad But True," you got to admit. But I thought it was deep. I thought it was a really deep way to talk about the inner conflict that people feel. And it was literally the first time I'd ever heard the song. So there you go. All right, guys. You guys know the drill. Tell me your last thoughts on the song. Tell me your last thoughts on you liked it.
I liked it.
Rank it.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna probably give it like a 6 or a 7. I'm gonna give it a 6. I would have given it more like a 7.5 if they hadn't stolen. You know.
Okay, I'm gonna give them a 5 because you guys took from Metallica. If you want to hear us review another song,
get us a subscriber.
Like below and tell your friends. I think we're going to be reviewing some Mudvayne, some Tool, some Slayer, some Korn. Somebody asked us to review Freak on a Leash. I think there's like 58 trillion people on the planet that have seen Freak on Leash, but we'll do it. And let us know, guys.
Yeah, and we read your comments. We like reading. We sit on the couch, chill out, and start reading the comments.
Yeah, I update
So
her. I'm
you
like, yo,
post
this is
it,
what
yeah.
people said. Yeah.
So if you post it, we'll read it.
And we're pretty responsive, so there you go. All right, guys, have a good one. Rock on.
See ya.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Why can't you do a good...
Because it's more fun to see you turn all disappointed.
It's very disappointing. We got this momentum.
Okay, all right.
It's very...
Do it again. Go ahead.
All right, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Boom. That was good.